Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I have three articles here about the International Olympics Committee, and that's one. Zelensky, obviously, he sticks his tail everywhere, and a very disappointing statements coming from Usyk, the boxer, the now heavyweight boxer, and very disappointing. And I understand him, but on the other hand, I see it as a weasel move, though, with one side of my brain. With one side, I agree condemning certain things, but not what he is demanding, and I think that's disappointing, at least in my world. So let's see what's going on over here. So this article, the first one, comes from Reuters and says that Olympics row deepens as 35 countries demand ban for Russia and Belarus. Well, you remember, what's his name, Justin Trudeau, talking about the fringe minority? Remember that one? Yeah, well, this is, let me remind you of that one. So here is the little thing here. Remember this semi-idiot dictator? I would call him Daily Wire. Canadians furious after Trudeau's fringe minority comment as thousands of truckers head to capital. So this is what he said. I'm quoting this guy. The small fringe minority of people who are on their way to Canada who are holding unacceptable views that they are expressing do not represent the views of Canadians. And now he's starting to fondle the Canadians' balls, who have been there for each other, who know that following the science and stepping up to protect each other is the best way to continue to ensure our freedoms, our rights, our values as a country. Such a weasel. So, remember fringe minority? He didn't bother to check how many of the fringe minority, how many were holding those unacceptable views. Remember that one? Yeah, okay now. So we have now these guys, which are 35 countries out of how many countries are on this planet at this moment? 193. So subtract from 193 the 35 and you get to 100 and what? 60 or something? Something like this, 50 some. So 150 countries have no problem with Russia and Belarus. 35 have. So there we have it, and this weasel comes over here to destroy the lives of some youth, people who fought to train, fought for their, sacrificed. He doesn't really care. He doesn't care. And I understand him. I understand in a way that I know that he's just what he is, a small person in his heart and in his mind, and in his height as well. But then we have this one. Zelensky tells International Olympic Committee there's no place for terrorist state Russia at the Paris Olympics. It's not a state, it's the athletes. Russian athletes have no place. Russian athletes have no place at next year's Paris Olympics. First, is not Paris who decides that, and it actually is not even these guys here or his prerogative to say who's coming, who's not going, and who's leaving and who's coming. It's unbelievable. And then, as I said, you see how this is like a saint. You see how these things were portrayed in old, fresco, like a saint. Yeah. Oh my God, so much symbolistic. These guys are still 2,500 years back in time. That's why do I use that? Because around that time, the ancient Greeks started doubting the gods. So that was the first time when we put this at work in Greece. That was the time. And we have people nowadays still thinking the same way those guys thought over there. So a lot of evolution. Now, anybody can make a fool of himself. Like I can make a fool of myself right here. That's fine. But on the other hand, I know I'm using my brain and not my make-believe stuff. And now the article that got me very, very disappointed. Very disappointed. Why? Because I like this guy. I liked this guy, past tense. And here he is. I think he's a fantastic athlete, fantastic boxer. He can have his opinions, he can have his beliefs. Obviously, he's Ukrainian. What do you expect? He can denounce Russia, Russian leadership. That's what he is supposed to denounce, and that's about it. If he denounces the people, there's generalization. That means that all of them are bad, and I don't believe in that because that's called in a certain way. So, Ukrainian boxer Alexander Usyk asks International Olympic Committee to ban Russia from 2024 Olympics, and this is his statement. Again, a statement based on pathos, not on logos. So not on brain, but on heart. And I'm quoting Usyk: medals of blood, death, and tears. So Ukrainian boxer Alexander Usyk doesn't want to see Russian athletes. He doesn't want to see them at the 2024 Paris Olympics. Usyk addressed International Olympic Committee President Thomas Bach. Sebastian Bach, in a message on Instagram, telling Bach, and I'm quoting, Russian athletes are going to win our medals of blood, death, and tears if allowed to take part in the games. Well, I took this guy out of my heart, unfortunately, because I think, I don't know what was, I keep it in my brain, but not in my heart anymore. Not because I don't support the Ukrainian nation. I think Ukrainian nation is just used. That's my assessment, unfortunately. But I hoped that he would understand that the athletes sacrifice and hard work versus the leadership. As terrorist and the criminal that the leadership would be, you try to punish something that really, and as an athlete, I don't know, I think it's just mentally is not, I don't like it personally. I don't think it's, I don't have to like it. I think it's, what does have one to do with the other one? Because the Russia is going to win? Do you think that those athletes that come from Russia, they come necessary for, oh, I'm going to put this at the feet of Russia, of President Putin or something? They have families, they have dreams, they're young, they are young people, young adults. So he's, what is he trying to do? To have those guys pick up guns and go and take care of Putin? Is that what he wants? Or vote him out? You can't vote him out, he's a dictator, isn't he? That's what we're told. He's a bad dude. So actually you should allow them to be, because they are under the thumb of this criminal dictator called Putin. So they should allow them. Maybe they will just defect, leave the country, and they will stay in Paris. But maybe France don't like Europeans to immigrate over there. Maybe they like, I don't know, aliens to immigrate to Paris. Anyway, however you take it, it's just, I understand him as a Ukrainian, he's upset, but I think his focus is not, his point is not where it should be. The point should be a different direction, a political one, not on the poor athletes. That's my take on this. And I'm entitled to have it expressed as he has his right to have it expressed. He doesn't give up about me, but as I said, I used to have something more than just a very talented, hardworking, intelligent boxer. Now that's what's going to be for me from now on. But I understand he's got a lot of, I suspect he's got a lot of guys behind him that, him, and he's like, and remember, those guys over there is not like, United States of America, free country and so on. It's a kind of a certain kind of state, But anyway, thank you very much for being with me again today. I don't think they should ban the Russian athletes going and competing. Because if I would be, let's say, competing over there, and let's say, I'm going over there in, let's say, weightlifting. Let's say the Russians are very good, used to be, the Belarusians used to be, and I go over there and I'm, let's say, a French guy, and the Russians always beat me. Now I would celebrate with one side that, oh, I'm going to probably win gold medal this time, but how is going to be my heart knowing that I didn't win because those guys, I won possibly because those guys did not show up. I didn't compete against the best, so I'm not the best of the best because those guys were prevented from competing. Now, I know a lot of people don't think that way. I've been involved in sports. I participated. I did my share. And I met people in the martial arts where you're supposed to be, serious, and this is the character, samurai, and so on, with people who won competition in very bad ways with the referees and relatives and all that. And they didn't care. They didn't care how they won. They got the national championship or they got this. They didn't care. Why? Because in 10 years, nobody knew how they won. Only the paper, oh, he or she was champion then, he was champion then, he was champion then. Just a few of us knew how he or she got to be champions. But where am I right now? If I go over there and say, you were not a champion, I know how you got to be a champion, they will say that I know sour grapes syndrome or something. You know what that is, right? When I know how that happened, I was over there. I was in the room. I was in a competition. I was an athlete. I was a referee. I was, I was in there. So some people don't even think. They only care is I want that first place. I don't care how. You have no values, nothing. You're a piece of shit. So if you think that way, just so you put it this way, how else can I say it? Winning knowing that your competition was excluded. You can make all kind of arguments. Yeah, they deserved. How did Ivan deserve to be punished because of his crazy leader? Change the leaders, cheater. You go and change your leader and see how fast that is, how that works, and you have a democracy, right? Yeah, and you have a dictatorship over there. No, but anyway, what do you want? Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.